Laia Masterson stared at the ancient artifact hovering above the laboratory table. The crystalline structure, translucent and faintly blue, rotated slowly in the containment field, defying all attempts at classification. "Impossible," muttered Dr. Kavi, her research partner. "The carbon dating puts this at over 12 million years old. That predates any known spacefaring civilization in the Concordat records by at least 9 million years." Laia circled the artifact, fascinated by how it seemed to pulse with inner light whenever she approached. "And they found this on Enceladus? Under 3 kilometers of ice?" The mining expedition wasn't even looking for artifacts. They were after helium-3 deposits. Kavi adjusted his glasses. But here's the strangest part the object responded to. Human proximity. Only human. The Vengari engineers couldn't trigger any reaction. The diplomatic summit on Proxima Station was only 3 days away. As humanity's junior ambassador to the Galactic Concordat, Laia knew this discovery could significantly impact their standing. Humanity had only joined the interstellar community 50 years ago, welcomed as younglings among ancient civilizations that measured their histories in millennia. "We should inform Ambassador Chun," Laia said, reaching toward the artifact. "Wait, don't." Her fingertips brushed the crystalline surface. The laboratory vanished. She stood on a battlefield beneath an unfamiliar sky with 3 moons. Humanoid figures in advanced armor fought against serpentine creatures. Energy weapons scorched the air. A voice thundered, "The children of Terra shall not fall." Laia gasped as reality reasserted itself. She stumbled backward, caught by Kavi. "Are you all right?" "Your eyes... Kavi's voice trembled. "My eyes?" He held up a reflective panel. Her irises glowed with the same blue light as the artifact. "We need to get you to medical," Kavi said, but the laboratory door hissed open before they could move. 3 Concordat security officers entered, led by a tall Meridian with silvery skin. Their weapons were drawn. "Leandra Masterson," the Meridian said, voice resonating strangely, "you will come with us immediately, by order of the High Council." "On what grounds?" Kavi demanded, the Meridian's compound eyes fixed on Laia. "She has been recognized by the ancient systems as heir of the First Flame. Protocol Extinction Dawn has been initiated." "What does that mean?" Laia asked, her voice steady despite the fear building inside her. "It means," the Meridian said quietly, "that after 12 million years, the Terran Empire has returned, and the galaxy remembers what you did last time." As they led her away, emergency sirens began wailing throughout the station. On view screens across the corridor, Laia glimpsed news reports showing massive ships departing from worlds across the sector. The word evacuation flashed in multiple languages. The galaxy was running from humanity, and she didn't understand why. Ambassador Julian Shun watched the secure feed with growing horror. The quarantine chamber holding Laia was surrounded by the highest-ranking members of the Concordat Security Council, representing 12 different species. None looked pleased. "This is a diplomatic outrage," Chen protested to the Arcturian emissary beside him. "Junior Ambassador Masterson has committed no crime." The Arcturian, a being of living crystal named Zenith, turned faceted eyes toward him. "This is not about crime, Ambassador. This is about survival. The air protocols were established before your species rejoined the galactic community." "Rejoined?" Chun caught the word. "You mean joined?" Zenith said nothing, crystalline form shimmering with unease. Inside the chamber, a quantum historian named Vox Nil approached Leah. 8 tentacles operated sophisticated equipment while its vocoder translated. "The cellular activation is unmistakable," it announced. "Genetic memories are surfacing. The dormancy protocol has failed." "What are you talking about?" Laia demanded. "I'm human." We evolved on Earth. Yes, Voxnil agreed. After your empire fell. After the Great Erasure, your species was ... reset. On the observation deck, Shun's communicator chimed. A message from Earth. Unexplained phenomena were occurring globally. Ancient structures, previously thought to be natural formations, were activating beneath every major ocean. Millions reported strange dreams of stars and battles. It's happening everywhere, Chun whispered. Zenith's crystalline form dimmed. Then we may already be too late. Inside the chamber, Laia suddenly doubled over. Her skin rippled with blue light. As information encoded in her very DNA began to surface, the legacy of an empire that had once spanned the galaxy. 12 million years ago, Voxnil explained as Laia struggled with the influx of ancestral memories. Humanity wasn't a young species. You were the first civilization, the Empire of Terra. Images flooded Laia's mind. Vast fleets, worlds transformed, species uplifted, and others subjugated. Humanity had not been peaceful explorers, but conquerors who reshaped the galaxy to their whims. The war came when younger races united against you, Voxnil continued. The cost was catastrophic. Entire star systems reduced to cosmic dust. In the end, facing defeat, your ancestors made a terrible choice. Laia saw it now, the desperate plan. Rather than accept extinction, humanity's leaders activated a technology called the Crucible. It would regress their species to a primitive state, hide Earth behind a field that made the solar system appear uninhabited, and erase their memory of the stars. When they eventually evolved back to spacefaring capability, the galaxy would have forgotten them. But we didn't forget, Zenith sighed, entering the chamber. We built our civilizations in fear that one day you would return. Leah stood shakily, blue light coursing through her veins. We aren't those people anymore. That remains to be seen, Zenith replied. The genetic memory activation is spreading across your homeworld. Soon all humans will remember. And then what? Laia asked. History, Voxnil said ominously, has a tendency to repeat itself. Asterisk the Concordat emergency session descended into chaos as species after species demanded humanity's containment. Some called for more extreme measures. Only the Ket, mysterious energy beings rarely involved in politics, counseled patience. Ambassador. Chun stood alone at the center of the vast chamber, surrounded by representatives of over 50 civilizations. We cannot be held accountable for actions taken by ancestors we didn't even know existed, Chun argued. The humans of today are not the humans of 12 million years ago. Your awakening technologies are already activating, countered the Dovin representative, a six-limbed insectoid. Military-grade systems dormant for eons are coming online across your world. The ancient defense grid around your solar system has begun to power up, systems we don't control and don't understand. Chun protested. Meanwhile, in her quarantine cell, Leah struggled with two sets of memories, her life as a diplomat, and now the surfacing knowledge of humanity's true past. The cell door slid open, revealing a small, rodent-like being. Quickly, the creature squeaked. I am Miktal of the Venwell. We must leave now. Why are you helping me? Laia asked as they hurried down a maintenance corridor. Because 12 million years ago, humans saved my species from extinction when the celestial plague threatened our homeworld. Not all of your history is conquest. They reached a small transport ship where Kavi waited. The situation is deteriorating, he said. Some Concordat factions are pushing for preemptive strikes against Earth. As their ship detached from the Yek station, Laia gazed at the view screen, showing dozens of massive warships gathering. They're really afraid of us. With reason, Miktal said. But fear obscures truth. The ancient records speak of humanity's aggression, yes, but also of your potential for greatness. The Ket believe your regression was not punishment, but evolution, a second chance. The ship's communications array lit up with an incoming transmission. From Earth, Admiral Santos of the United Earth Fleet appeared, her eyes glowing with the same blue light as Laya's. Ambassador Chun, Masterson, the awakening is accelerating. Ancient defense systems are activating faster than we can understand them. We need you to broker peace before accidents happen. The Concordat is preparing for war, Chun replied grimly. Then, we need leverage, Laya said suddenly, ancestral knowledge surfacing. I know where to find it. The installation at Proxima B. Miktal's whiskers trembled. The Forbidden Zone? No ship has returned from there in millennia. Because it's protected by Terra's most advanced defensive systems, Laya explained, guarding our greatest achievement and our worst mistake. As their ship changed course, Laya stared at her reflection. Behind her human face, she sensed the weight of an Empire One that had reached magnificent heights before falling to its own hubris. We can't change who we were, she whispered, but we can choose who we become. Across Earth, millions of humans looked up at the night sky with new understanding, remembering stars they had once ruled, feeling the pull of a legacy both glorious and terrible. The question hanging over humanity now was whether they would repeat the mistakes of their forgotten past or forge a different path among the stars they had once called home. Asterisk. The Forbidden Zone lived up to its reputation. 3 Concordat pursuit vessels disintegrated against invisible barriers, while Leah navigated their small ship through patterns only her awakened memories recognized. Proxima B's surface was barren, except for a single structure, a black pyramid rising 2 kilometers high. As they approached, sections of it reconfigured, recognizing Laya's genetic signature. What is this place? Kavi asked as they entered a vast chamber that hummed with dormant energy. The archive, Laya answered, knowledge continuing to surface. And something more. Ambassador Chun studied the alien console that responded to Laya's touch. What leverage could possibly stop a galaxy-wide panic? The truth, Laya said, activating the central platform. A holographic display erupted around them, showing the complete history of the Terran Empire, not the sanitized version the Concordat preserved, but reality in all its complexity. Yes, humanity had conquered and subjugated, but they had also uplifted species, cured planetary plagues, and defended younger civilizations from cosmic threats. The Empire had been neither purely evil nor good, merely powerful and flawed. Here, Laya pointed to a sequence showing the final war. This is what they fear most. The display revealed the terrible weapon humanity had created, the Sundered Path, capable of severing a planet's connection to reality itself. When used against the rebellious Meridian homeworld, its effects cascaded unexpectedly, threatening the fabric of space-time across the galaxy. We didn't just lose the war, Laya explained. We nearly destroyed everything. The Crucible wasn't only to save ourselves, it was to save the galaxy from our mistake. Miktal squeaked in surprise. Your ancestors chose extinction over dominion. Not extinction, evolution. Laya moved deeper into the facility, following instincts she didn't fully understand. They believed if humanity evolved naturally a second time, we might develop wisdom to match our ambition. They entered a chamber containing a single stasis pod. Inside floated a woman who could have been Laya's twin. The final Empress, Laya whispered, my genetic ancestor. She stayed behind to ensure the Crucible worked properly, to watch over humanity's second chance. The pod systems engaged, ancient machinery humming to life. The Empress opened her eyes, the same luminous blue as Laya's. The heirs have returned to the stars, she said, her voice strong despite 12 million years of sleep. Has humanity learned its lesson? Before Laya could answer, alarms blared. On external monitors, they watched a Concordat battle fleet emerge from hyperspace, weapons charging. They've followed us, Shun said grimly, and they're not here to negotiate. The Empress smiled sadly. Some things never change. She turned to Laia. But you can. The archive contains more than history. It holds the shutdown codes for every piece of Terran technology, including the defense systems currently activating on Earth. You're giving us the power to disarm ourselves, Laia realized. Power has never been humanity's problem, the Empress replied. The question is whether you have the wisdom to relinquish it when necessary. As the first bombardment struck the archive's shields, Laia made her decision one that would determine humanity's second chance among the stars. Part 5. Rebirth. Concordat warships surrounded the archive, weapons charged. Inside, Laia worked, feverishly, downloading the shutdown protocols, while the ancient shields weakened with each barrage. They won't listen, Chun said, attempting to hail the fleet. They believe we've come to reactivate some doomsday weapon. The Empress, still adapting to her awakening, studied the tactical display. In their position, I would think the same. Fear is the legacy of our empire. Leah finished the download and faced her ancient ancestor. I know what we need to do. She opened a channel to Earth, connecting with Admiral Santos and the newly formed Remembrance Council humans whose genetic memories had fully activated. The defensive systems must be shut down, Laia explained, transmitting the protocols. All of them. We need to make ourselves vulnerable. That's suicide, Santos protested. The Concordat forces are already mobilizing. Trust me, Laia insisted. We can't fight history with more violence. As Earth's ancient defenses powered down, Laia opened a galaxy-wide broadcast channel, bypassing Concordat communications using Imperial protocols. I speak to all sentient beings as the recognized heir of Terra, she began, her image transmitted to countless worlds. 12 million years ago, humanity nearly destroyed the galaxy through arrogance and fear. Today, we choose a different path. The broadcast showed Earth's defense grid going offline, ancient weapons powering down across the solar system. We surrender the legacy of empire, Laia continued. We choose to be part of the galactic community, not its conquerors or its outcasts. The Empress stepped forward, her presence sending shockwaves through the Concordat leadership. I am Empress Leandra the 11th, last ruler of Terra. I confirm this surrender and offer myself to stand trial for the crimes of our civilization. In the tense hours that followed, the Concordat Council convened an emergency session. The Ket representatives, those ancient energy beings who had counseled patience, now spoke forcefully. We too remember the Terran Empire, their spokesperson pulsed. We remember not only their conquest, but their sacrifice. They chose extinction or galactic destruction. What civilization among us can claim such humility? Gradually, weapons were lowered, evacuations halted. A fragile dialogue began. 1 year later, Laia stood on the observation deck of New Harmony Station, watching ships from a dozen worlds dock for the historic signing. The Remembrance Accords would establish humanity's place in the galaxy, not as returning conquerors, but as a species with a unique perspective. We are both ancient and young, Laia told the assembled delegates. We carry the memories of empire and the freshness of rediscovery. This duality gives us a responsibility to remember our past without being defined by it. The Empress, now serving as humanity's historical advisor rather than its ruler, nodded in approval as the delegates signed the accords. Kavi joined Leah at the viewport. Do you think it will last? He asked quietly. Leah watched the stars, the same stars her ancestors had once ruled and then surrendered. History doesn't repeat itself, she said. People repeat history, but only if they forget it. Across Earth and its colonies, humans look to the stars with new eyes, seeing not a frontier to conquer, but a community to join, the forgotten. Origin had been remembered, not as a call to reclaim lost glory, but as a warning and a promise. The children of Terra had returned to the stars, not as the threat everyone feared, but as the allies the galaxy didn't know it needed. Asterisk